Right from the start, I've been doing it all. Paint a new picture on the wall. Oh, fifth time at it. Is it really this long? 2024, what a year. Am I wrong? I gained inspiration from the greats. And while everyone was on their fall breaks, I was cooking in the kitchen and I must have failed to mention that it's time to rise up the ascension. And I've been still going out to shows on the regular. Familiar faces, whoa, check the retina. All music all the time must be a crime to overanalyze the pen. Then I go get mine. New style, new flow, new cadence. I've been looking all around, slow trial, just be patient. And don't forget about the beat. Well, of course, reminisce over the 90s like a minute hardcore. When I hop up in the car, Saturday in the AM, all I can hear is the bass, speakers blast the mayhem. Far drive for a long time, guess I don't mind knowing that I will shine like Fox McCloud when I arrive. Preparations were real, they were arduous, like I'm welding steel, that's a conduit. Protect them at all costs, ain't trying to take a loss, meticulous crafted, I ain't seeing no flaws, competing to win, we at it again, FaceTime, big old grin like I did the sin, looking good, the compliment, just couldn't resist, in a sense, ain't no harm, that's pure in a sense, what's the point, where am I going with all of this, originally the intent was to present accomplishments, I admit the thick of it has not begun, let me think, okay well then, wanna travel the world, 7 C's, vacation based on referrals. Set the seeds, when the time is right, well let me see. I think I'll go out to Paris, where Yeezy be. Then again, Tokyo sounds astounding. More renowned, see the culture look all around it. Roaming through the capital, wow. Actually flying out to Italy, pretty casually grabbing a bite to eat. Okay, risotto, right on the menu, that's sweet. I hear another look, where would I go for meat? I do not know the when it is time to feast. Grab the prosciutto. Every other part of the world I pursue, whether it's true or not, making all of these moves. Overdue like a credit card payment that's used. Still I flew out to the cities I do. I like to think big, I like to dream big, I like to fantasize about all of my shit digs. Put on my new kicks, I like to make it quick, I like to maximize my time and take a few pics. But what about this, and what about that? It's hard to say what I'ma do, okay well that's a fact. I'm going skydiving, or maybe more hiking, for sure rock climbing, some thoughts while I'm driving. Okay well anyway though, time to get back to the show. We take it back to the present, now let's get back to the dough. Need the money to blow, got too much that I owe. Keep it all on the low, if you know then you know. Bucket list piling up, consistent of activities that may or may not get cut. Like a steak when it's rough, well done on my part, I think that should be enough. Gotta think on it some more before my mind is made up. I think about it all the time. It's fine when the idea's mine. To go alone is just alright. But I gotta say I'd be lying if I didn't wanna be with somebody who's about as passionate as I. The one that's oh so ever divine. It's so sweet and oh so kind. Yeah. Long hair, dressed to impress. Wait, that's no fair. Guys in the breast, hitting like them snares. Geez, what a mess. Mine does not care. It's so obsessed. Put the phone down, boy. Must I confess? All alone I scroll. Nest in the nets, like a makeup test. Regret and regret, getting real upset. Complex is complex. Stop with the blind gaze. Opposite sex, like day by day. I'm trying my best. Search keeps going on. Keep it direct. Life's still ongoing. Time to connect, draw closer and closer as I reflect on these thoughts coming on. I did not expect to be thinking about the way. Slide through the text, elevated, that's a rep. Time to select. Can't shake this feeling. Wait to reveal it. Love in the air. There's no concealing. Just can't shake this feeling. Wait to reveal it. Love in the air. There's no concealing. Thought to myself, how would I go about it? Finding love is tough, and there's no way around it. Had to write it out, I got no other options. Okay, I'll try it now, looking like it's an option. They the pool of women within a couple minutes, sitting at the table with her. Hope I don't reach my limit. Do not act all timid or even try to admit it. Look mad cool, say all the right words in every sentence. Speed dating is tough. Talk to everyone in every interaction so short, it's not enough. Are the two of us compatible or what? I don't know. Looking at the scorecard again, man, I don't know. But jot it all down in my notes. Yeah, you find it all. Checking off the box tonight, hoping that we're a lock. No joke. No exaggeration. Push to 12 to gain confirmation. Can't shake this feeling. Wait to reveal it. Love in the air. There's no concealing. Just can't shake this feeling. Wait to reveal it. Love in the air. There's no concealing. Check the time and it's 12:30. Sitting in a dim lit room thinking all to myself how my request denied, ultimately declined. Could have been all mine, let out a big sigh. Repeat it all again. Stagnated, feeling like I don't know when it ends or begins. Wonder what's the issue. Makes me sad, may even grab a tissue. Was I dressed right for the occasion? Something I said kicked me in the face, and well, I don't know, could have been the profile, maybe that was looking foul. Struggled to write it, highlighted all my strengths, couldn't show off the weaknesses, waiting before revealing the deepest and darkest of secrets. Needed to pull her in, it's sad to see her go, now we'll never know. Can't shake this feeling, wait to reveal it. Love in the air, there's no concealing. Just can't shake this feeling. Wait to reveal it. Love in the air. There's no concealing. Constantly thinking about what I did wrong. Vented all my frustrations out in this song. Realized what it may have been all along. Here I was acting like I'm oh so strong. But I know I'm just way too nice. What would you like? Could you tell me? Yes, I like to tell you a story. Okay, I'm all ears. Looks like I'm stuck here. Till someone else comes near. The other guy tells a joke. The crowd laughs. Let out a chuckle myself. Google the half that I didn't understand. Friend wants to hang on a Sunday. Sounds like a plan. I should be respectful. I should be nice. I should be kind. I shouldn't be neglectful. I should rewind back to the time when I would always be careful. I interrupt, then I tense up, cause I know they will be mad at me. I'll be sad I ended it all. What do I want? What do I like? I like to listen.
No, you don't. That's a bald-headed lie.
Always attentive. Very versatile.
You don't enjoy any of this. Quit playing.
Going with the flow. I don't want to disappoint anyone. If I don't do these things at all, that's no fun.
But would you rather be a victim of discomfort? Or would you rather live your life uncovered?
That's a tough one. Feeling like I'm on the run. Thoughts in my mind on a hunt to confront them all.
Well, you don't have to be afraid of me. Cause you're the only one that really made me the way I am. You feel responsible for other people's feelings and needs. But you need to follow your own beliefs. Take us to your world. What do you really want? Listen to your shadow. Own it. Accept it.
I know what I want. I want you to shut up when I'm talking. You've been talking for 20 whole minutes and ain't said nothing, ain't said a lick about nothing.
I've been trying to figure out what you talking about. You ain't talking about nothing. And I be talking to this girl and she be saying the same thing. She ain't talking about nothing either. Man, I wish she would just go out with me. She don't even really care about me. Nah, nobody really cares about me. I don't think anybody really cares about me. Man, my family be acting all crazy. They be going out to restaurants and I be going with them and then they be like, man, y'all need to take this stuff back. I don't really care about none of that. I don't really care nothing about that. Man, y'all be all acting crazy. I wish I could just do something about it to just change everything. Like,
There's gotta be a better way. There's just gotta be a better way. Well, that's all I got for this year. That's enough rapping. I didn't use my voice like crazy for like the past 2 weekends or so, just trying to wrap all this up. But now, as we finish wrapping the song up, let's go ahead and wrap this all up. Welcome, everyone, as I always say, to the 2024 wrap up. This is your favorite segment. It's my favorite segment. This is the part where, well, it's my favorite because it's probably the easiest one for me to do. I'm just going to talk and you guys will just listen as I talk to you guys about stuff going on with me. So that's my intro for anyone that's new here, for anyone that's existing and been following me for a while. I like to thank you guys so much for coming out like I'm doing a show. Thank you all, everyone, for listening to my songs and continuing to follow me on my journey through my songwriting, my music production, and just living through life in general. So, thank you. Now, there is a couple of different topics that I loosely wrote down as I always do. So, I'm going to try my best to fly through these topics, but you know how it goes. It never goes out that quickly. It always takes me forever to go through this stuff. But without further ado, let's get started with that. So, what's cool about this song is this is actually my 5th year of rapping. If we include 2020, this is my 5th year of rapping or even singing a little bit at times. And starting with 2020, I was making these songs, these year or what I call them end of the year songs, plus the wrap up portion where I would just talk about all sorts of various different things. It's like a combination or culmination, hopefully that was a good word for this, of like everything that I was doing throughout the course of the year, musically and just in life. And with that, with it being my 5-year anniversary, I decided to go all the way back and start from the beginning, listening to all my music. Now, with that being said, I've actually been making music for 7 years, technically, starting in 2018, but I didn't start actually using my voice and rapping and singing until 2 years later, which was 2020. So, going into all that, I wanted to just see where the progression was from when I started to where I am now. And it's pretty interesting. There were points in times where I had a small spike in progress. But overall, it just goes to show for doing this for almost 10 years, it's still very challenging as there's still a lot of holes in my music and stuff I need to clean up. And hopefully, as you're hearing this, I would have worked to address some of those changes that I want to make throughout the course of this song based on what I've been doing and things I found wrong from previous years. But it all just kind of depends. I mean, this entire song is typically a time crunch, as I typically like to write these at the end of the year because that gives me time to live life and see how I want to actually talk about things. If I write this song in the beginning of the year, it's subject to change because this song is a big part of just reflecting on my life that year. So that's why I wait. But with that being said, to talk about the songs I put out this year, it was interesting because as I was reflecting on my older music, I was also still reflecting on not older music
that I released already, or not just that music, but also older music that I have sitting in my library. Like I can only imagine how many songs I have sitting around in the vault of ideas. And a lot of the songs that I put out were actually songs that I worked on in previous years and then finally finished and put out for you guys to hear. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to have a million songs sit in the vault, despite that naturally being the case, and that's going to happen anyway. But ultimately, I want to give you guys as much songs or as many songs as I can of stuff that I actually like worked on, whether it's good or bad. Try my best to make it good, but who knows? Whether it's good, bad, experimental, or whatever it is, I just want to give you everything I have. So I thought it was cool to go back. And also, thank you to Main Man Q. I finally got that collab with Main Man on the song. It's a shame I didn't get any more collabs, but I appreciate you for jumping on that Face Me song with you. I know, oddly enough, that song, the way it's structured, clashes with the third part of this song, but we'll get into the discussion of this song in a moment. But yeah, thank you for hopping on that song with me. Hopefully next year I can get more collabs, not with just Main Man Q, but in general with everyone. So that's all I got on the music this year. Now I would say the next thing I want to talk about is this song. So what's interesting about this is if we're starting with the vocal recordings, I actually have not recorded a song in months. Like the last song I actually recorded that I can recall is Illusion. And that was like July, August. So coming back into the booth and trying to do all this stuff I've been doing in such a short amount of time has been very challenging. And as we start off with the very first part, that's what made this really challenging. Because from a production standpoint, the cool thing was, or at least the cool idea I had initially, was I actually wanted to surprise you guys and make that like a rock song. Because I was trying to play around with metal and learn how that works. But there's a couple of problems with why that didn't actually work out the way I wanted it to. So the first issue was the fact that, well, I don't know anything about metal. I just like listening to some metal songs here and there from random artists. And I like some heavily distorted guitars in songs like from like a Linkin Park, for instance, which I associate that sound to be more common in genres like metal. But I don't really know a lot about it. So I would have to do a lot of research on it. On top of that, I don't know how song structure works for rock. So I would have to learn that. I would have to learn how to produce. And I would have to learn how to actually play what I need to play for a metal guitar on my guitar. So there was a lot of moving parts to that I just couldn't get done in time. That was one issue. However, I did actually try to do it regardless. And the other problem was I overtuned my thinnest E string and I broke it. And I don't have any equipment to actually change my strings, nor do I have any equipment to clean my guitar either. And to be honest with you all, I never actually truly learned how to change guitar strings. I've always got help. I either got help from like guitar shops or from my friend, the Hooded Fiend. Thank you, Hooded Fiend, for all your help with replacing the strings for me in previous cases. But this time, I didn't do that. I need to learn how to change these strings because it's easy. I just never sat down and learned how to do it, nor did I ever get the tools to do it. So that was like the final straw. I was like, yeah, you know what? I guess that's just not in the books for me this time. So I'm just going to cut that idea and just turn it into a trap song or something. So with that being said, to discuss the song itself and what it became, this is probably a more fitting thing anyway, because I've had that idea in mind that I wanted to just have some fun and just kind of flex, so to speak, on the first part of the song. And what makes this a little different and interesting is the fact that I actually rapped on like second zero. I rapped on second zero, which I've never done before. And I've been going for like, I don't know, 3.5 minutes just rapping through stuff, which was very time consuming. The songwriting for that absolutely took the longest because I just had to rap verse for verse for verse, bar for bar for bar. It's crazy that people can do all that because typically I will fill it in with choruses or there'll be like empty spots or something. There'll be something to supplement that time to make it easy on me. But I was like, nah, I've been gone for 4 months. So I'm going to come in here and rap. So hopefully y'all like the rapping performance. I got a lot of inspiration from all sorts of different artists this year. And I wanted to showcase that on that first song. So hopefully you guys like that. And then when it comes to the content itself, well, I was thinking directly about 2023. To spoil the 2023 song a little bit, the gist of it was, having fun by myself and then having fun with friends and finding that balance ultimately in the end. And this time I wanted to focus more on the solo aspects of just having fun by myself. I want to talk about like dreams and ambitions while also playing around with like wordplay and stuff like that, some technical rapping aspects. I wanted to test my rapping abilities that I've learned over this time period of just listening to a bunch of different rappers on this first part. So that's what spawned the first part. But to keep it going and progress through the entire song, I wanted to also talk about, well, yeah, I do it all alone, but that's the problem. Am I ever going to have someone else with me to join me in this journey? So that's when we move over to part two. So interestingly enough, if I go back to part one for a split second, that was actually the last instrumental that I put together out of all three of these instrumentals because I was working on learning how to do metal. But the second instrumental was actually the first instrumental I did. And I was inspired by People Under the Stairs for that song. There's this song called Empty Bottles of Water that I heard just recently around that time. And I just absolutely love that song. I love the instrumental. I love the general vibe of it. So I said, let's take that idea and play around with that. So playing around with sample chops, I chopped up some stuff for drums, chopped up this thing with a melody, but I played around with a different melody. My main melody pretty much was this droning pad. I wanted it to be something that was a little more like introspective-ish in sound in the background, while having this random piano come in at times for the other melodic aspect. And this instrumental is different too because I don't typically just keep the drums going throughout the song like that. That's where my heavy People Under the Stairs influence came from this time, was really just letting the drums go and do its thing, really driving the rhythm of this song. But it also helps with how I was going about the songwriting too. It was sort of like talking about this stagnation of, am I going to find someone that's right for me? Someone that I can date, someone I can be in a relationship with, someone that I truly love. Like, that was kind of part of it too, in a subtle sense. But to talk about that, so when it comes to relationships, well, I don't typically talk about that stuff much. I don't talk about how I'm feeling. I like this person. I don't like this person or anything that I was doing. So I started off by just kind of having this intro of being like, man, I really want to like find someone to date, right? And then we go into the second part and I actually reveal something interesting to you guys. I reveal the fact of speed dating to you all. Yes, crazy, right? I actually, as I was thinking of it in my head of how I'm gonna find people to potentially date, speed dating came to mind at first. So I actually went out on to two speed dating events around the middle of the year. I think it was like once in April and once in June or something like that. And it was a pretty interesting experience. As I mentioned here in the song, it's really interesting because it's like, yeah, you only have a couple minutes to get to know people. So how do you know if this person is right for you? And I think a problem I had was I would be looking at physical appearance and kind of personality too. But again, it's hard to gauge personality in 5 minutes where every conversation is pretty similar. It's pretty like baseline. Everyone's friendly. Everyone's able to do that. And maybe next time I should try and find like someone or be better about finding someone that I think's personality matches. And then I can grow to get into their physical appearance, so to speak, or they'll grow on me over time. I don't know. But that's what happened there. There was one person that I picked, but she didn't pick me. So that was kind of the driving factor for part or the later part of that song. And I'm not honestly hurt by it, really. I guess it hurt for all of, I don't know, 2, 3 hours at the time, but I wasn't really worried. I barely knew her. So that's no big deal on my part. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened there. But I thought that would be a good segue since I wasn't finding people to go into the last part, which was the part of, well, being too nice. I was like, well, if I segue into why can't I find someone, maybe it's because I'm too nice, then that could go into the segue not for this song or not just for this song, but how my life kind of shifted. Now, how do we get into part three? Well, that was pretty interesting. I guess it was just multiple observations that came to mind that told me, yeah, I need to work on that. I need to work on being better about like being bold and being assertive about the things that I want, the things that I like, and then being better about like voicing my opinions and stuff like that. Otherwise, I'll just stay in my shell and be like, you know what? It's fine. I'll let them handle it. But maybe I have to do something. So, all this is a part of my growth as a person. And what spawned me working on this was I found this book online called Not Nice. The rest of the title was extremely long, but if you were to Google Not Nice, and it has like, let me try that again. If you Google Not Nice book, you'll probably find it. It's like this long name. It's a blue cover on it, and it's by, if I remember his name, Dr. Aziz Ghazipura. I probably butchered that like crazy. I don't have the book on hand right now as I'm doing this, but it's something along those lines. And he breaks that book up into a couple of different parts. The first part about why being nice is not good. The second part about things or strategies you can do to fix that. And then part three is like wrapping all of it up, adding a little more nuance to it. And then either it ends there or there's a fourth part, which is the 30-day action plan to try to improve upon that. Now, at the time of recording this, I'm not actually finished with that book. I got to part three, but I'm still kind of working on it on the side. But ultimately, that should be helping me to reach my goals of being less nice. Not to be like mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm still trying to be kind at the end of the day, because that's not the point of the book. It's to just be mean spirited. But there's a balance to be struck between being too nice and being just outright mean. So that's ultimately what the book is for me, is finding that balance. And that's going to take a lot of time. I'm not going to be ready within, like, I don't know, a month or two. That's going to be me working towards it slowly, trying some things, seeing how things go for me. But yeah, that's what inspired this. And let me say that very last part was very hard because I decided to do that last verse in the end, freestyle off the top. And it's the very first time I ever tried doing that. And it's hard. For one, it's hard to be able to come up with the right thoughts in the middle of the beat, especially because I tried to do this over a faster paced beat as opposed to doing it over a slower hip hop beat. So that was really hard. And then on top of that, to be honest, I was still holding back quite a bit because while yes, I was trying to find a bridge between what would I say if I was writing like a personal journal, but also what would I say if I wanted other people to listen to it. There had to be an interesting balance because I still want this to be an experience everyone can take on. If I'm over here cursing all the time, then kids and elders probably will not gravitate towards this. But I can't keep it too like low key either, or it's not gonna hit its mark. That's very hard. So I'm sure that could have been delivered better. I'm sure there's things I could have said this better. But if you made it this far, then give me some leeway on that because that's my first off the top freestyle performance on such an interesting topic, on such an interesting beat and tempo on top of that. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole song. Um, we are already at 32 minutes, pretty much. Yeah, you guys are gonna be like, "What was I talking about?" When you see how long this is ultimately. So, typically, I would talk about my goals for the next year, my goals for 2025, and I think I will still talk about that really quickly. So, musically, I guess it would be pretty much the same as it has been. I'm going to be working on my guitars. And when it comes to bass guitar, I've actually decided, well, when I started learning bass guitar in 2020, I looked at this playlist, this beginner playlist of stuff that talked about chords and scales and like exercises I can do to improve my technical ability. But somewhere along the way, I lost all that music theory and I lost the technical practice. So I'm starting that over. And after that, I'm going to start going into different genres because on the side, I'm also working on learning new songs. And I have an issue where it's just like every time every time I learn like songs and stuff, it's like I'll make a playlist and say, here's some songs I learned, and then I'll stop practicing those songs for a while, and then I'll want to do like a reset. So I need to stop doing that, and now I'm gonna try to just get a large collection of songs to learn that I like playing or that I like generally listening to. And then after that, I'll go back when I'm done with that tutorial series again, the refresher. I'll go back and see what it is that I really like about all these songs, and I'll work to try and create them, whether it's hip hop or rock. I can't think of electronic songs that use like real life bass. So if anyone's made it this far, then let me know in the comment section, or if you know me personally, DM me these songs, these electric songs with bass guitar, with real life bass guitar. Otherwise, yeah, I assume they're all synthesized pretty much. So probably won't find it in electronic. But that's what I'm doing on bass guitar. And that's how things are going to go in 2025 with that. Now, for electric guitar, well, the first thing I need to do is replace these strings. So after that, I'm probably going to do the same thing on electric guitar and just kind of do a soft reset on the critical things like chords and scales and stuff like that, technical exercises. And then I'll follow a similar path. I'll continue those guitar series, and then I'll try and find like what I like about songs and genres and go from there. When it comes to music production, ultimately at the end of the day, I want to expand upon that freestyle thing a little more. And maybe next year I'll put out more freestyles off the top so I can improve upon it. And then we could try that again next year. And then um, other things I want to do is I want to generally play around with my voice a little more. You know, I always talk about this, how people like Kendrick is like really good about this stuff. And I want to take inspiration from him to do stuff like that my own self. And then when it comes to production, I'm gonna work on still my hip hop and electronic, but I'll try to put out more songs, whereas I'm like mixing these together. Might throw out a rock song or two, hopefully. Hopefully, if I give myself a whole year, I can finally make a metal song. But again, don't expect a metal vocal performance because I don't have the confidence to be doing all that yet. So I'll probably just start rapping. I'll probably be like Mike Shinoda or something. But anyway, those are my goals for 2025 musically. And life goals, well, I'll pretty much expand upon all the stuff I said here. I'll still go out, have some fun, and like do my thing, whether it's just big me or whether I'm with someone. And then I'll probably work on being more open to the various different options of being with other people, relationship wise, I mean, because I limited it to speed dating, but maybe I'll take on, what is it? Maybe I'll take on when someone hooks you up with someone else. I know there has to be a word for that, but maybe I'll take on that. I've been a little nervous about that, but maybe I'll take that on. And then maybe I'll take on online dating. I get nervous about that too, but maybe I'll give that a shot. Maybe I'll expand my horizons and be more open next year. And then as for the journey of not being as nice, well, they'll be ongoing. So whether that works out or not, we'll just have to see how the year progresses. But anyway, this has gone on way longer than any song that I've put out. So to not keep you here for 40 minutes, I'm going to cut it short here. So once again, thank you to everyone that stopped by and joined me on this journey. I look forward to seeing you guys in 2025. And I'm out. Peace.